So, hello everybody, and assuming that this is working, what I would like to do now is just, to chat and see your comments, see what you think of how things are going. And I mean, this is the part that only people who rewatch the live stream are going to hear, because right now there's nobody connected. So if you're rewatching the stream, thanks for doing that. And yeah, you can just write me a comment instead of writing in the chat, because it's late, you're rewatching the stream. Okay, so there's somebody already. Hello, Andrew. So the chat is broken, so let me very quickly fix that. Open in a new window like this, and then I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna tell him change the window capture like this. Nice, done, all done. Now it's, whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Window capture like this. Okay, how professional. So what about Fedora 42? Yes, I do have a video planned for Fedora 42. The thing is that now it's not just me, there's also another person helping me out with the scripts, which is Luca Brame. You can find info about him on the Libre News website, and you should do that. You should go check it out. So often I get topics and I go, yeah, probably Luca is going to do a better job than me writing this, and so I just send them to Luca, and Fedora 42 is one of those. He's gonna write a video for that. I'm not gonna do that, it wouldn't be as good. So, but right now he's writing another video, so we have to wait until he finishes that. What about Linux Mobile? I would like to do some videos about Linux Mobile, but of course I do need some either new device to test it on. I've done the PinePhone Pro already, or new software to test. I don't feel like the software has changed that much since I last tried out, so I've already made like a couple of videos then on them. I don't see what changed since then. I don't want to redo the same exact content twice. Still sticking to KDE 5.27 because less widgets supporting KDE 6 and broken EF. So I disagree that it's broken EF. Actually, I think we've done a pretty good job in making sure that everything works, but sure, less widgets is a fair point. Have you seen GNOME Mobile? I have. I don't know, maybe I should do a video about GNOME Mobile, so I will add it to the list. I think it's a fair question. So I'm still going very often out of focus, so let me fix that very quick. Okay, let's see if that worked. No, okay, wrong side. Maybe it's like this. Well, looks better. I'm in focus. No, I'm not. Okay. Okay. Look, focusing is very hard. Okay, greetings for Portugal. Oh, thank you. When are we getting Mica or transparent and blur effect on KDE apps like Windows and okay, so some apps already have that, and apps in general can do that. I think NeoChat does that. I don't remember exactly. However, it's true that there's no consistent way to get such an effect throughout apps unless you're using Qt widgets once and you go for Kvantum or another blurry theme that's not gonna work in Kirigami. My hope is that the situation might improve with the new KDE theming engine that's coming up, but that's gonna take years probably, and it's not even guaranteed that it's gonna fix all of our issues. Like it's not guaranteed that it's gonna implement blurring, but we can try that. We can try that and hope that it works. Do you have a device like the Pocophone F1 or the OnePlus? Nope, I do not. I have a phone that's never gonna support anything Linuxy, which is the... What's the name? Oh, I forgot the name. It's the Honor Magic version 2 with a very nice folding screen and of course autofocus. By the way, what a wallpaper. Let me say that. What a wallpaper. I absolutely love this. It's gorgeous. How can KDE make data engines in frameworks more accessible for AI applications so we can get a fully AI native desktop? So first of all, nobody in KDE is interested in that. So that's gonna make it harder. But if you did want that, I'm not even sure that's how you would do it. Why data engines? I'm really not sure that you should go through data engines to automate the desktop. I'm not sold on your idea. And more accessible to AI. They're already accessible to AI. Like you just have to run the code, and AI can write the code. Like, I'm not sold on your question. I like your videos, thank you. Are you aware of the issue that KDE doesn't recognize external monitors unless I log out and log in? Thankfully, no. Thankfully, I managed to stay away from that. I am not a bug tracker. I am not aware at any point in time of all existing KDE bugs, thankfully. And multi-monitors is not really something I work on a lot, especially because I don't have multi-monitors. So no, I'm not aware of that bug. I'm not gonna work on it probably, unless they ask me to. I would like to work on something else. But yeah, this phone is absolutely amazing. I would absolutely recommend it. I mean, it's pricey, but yeah, actually makes my life so much easier. So let me see. Analysis. Oh, we've got like 24 people here. That's nice. Is the chat like broken? Or did you just stop interacting with me? I feel so alone. Let me see. Let's go check the chat manually from the phone. Blah blah blah. Come on. Yeah, my internet's really bad. I want to write some KDE widgets myself. How do you recommend me to start? Well, that's a good question. KDE widgets. Honestly, my best advice would be to just try to copy the existing ones to some extent. You surely do need some know-how on QML and JavaScript. You can just Google for the QML handbook, I think it's called, or the cookbook, I don't remember, which provides some general insight on how the language works. But then when you roughly know QML in JavaScript, just take something similar and work on that. There's no really... It depends on what you're trying to do. Go ahead and tell me what you're trying to do, and I can give you some specific advice. But yeah, you just go ahead and sort of copy the others. There's no throughout guide on how to write applets specifically, because we don't know what you want to do. So, hey Nico, thanks for the videos. Thank you. Hello, Kala. I don't know what Kala means. Yeah, my internet is pretty bad. And I even pay extra for it to work, so that's annoying. But yeah, I was supposed to do... Can I just turn off this light? It's too distracting. Or let's move it here, like this. Nice. Yeah, I was supposed to do videos this morning, but I was just too tired, so I thought let's just do a live stream. I think we can do a live stream and just get away with it. But now nobody's actually writing comments, so I don't have much to talk about. What can I talk about completely randomly? Well, I can plug in again that you should go check out the libre.news, which is I come to Iran and use the internet for 2 seconds. You love your current internet speed. I can see that happening, but still, I live in like a major city in one of the most developed countries, so I want fast internet to do my work. Are there any plans to make parts of Plasma, such as kRunner and panels, run outside the complete desktop akin to Cosmic? So kRunner already works outside of Plasma. I tried that a while ago. It worked. I did use kRunner in GNOME. I mean, it worked. It wasn't great, but what do we expect? I'm not really sure why people would use that, honestly. And they don't. They could, but they don't. Panels is a bit more hard because it actually requires some direct connections between other parts of the desktop, such as the ability to add widgets, requires the add widgets sidebar, and then you can drag and drop widgets between the desktop as well. So that's more complex. And still, I don't think that anybody would use Plasma panels outside of Plasma. So I don't think I'm gonna work on that. But kRunner, sure, you could use it. Hey Nico, I've watched many of your videos this week. Thank you. And I've only done 3, feeling sort of guilty about it. But hey, sometimes you get busy and you only do 3 videos. Was supposed to do 4 with today, but I was too lazy. By the way, I absolutely love KDE and using it for years, and currently on Kubuntu after using KDE's own distro Neon. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend Neon right now, but maybe we'll get a new KDE distribution. That would be exciting. I think something is in the works, but I haven't heard any update in a long time, the Banana project. So we'll see. Have you seen any LLM adoption in the Qt space, since most of the add-ons use VS Code and not Qt Creator? I'm probably the wrong person to ask this, mostly because I'm not that active in the Qt space outside of what I use to develop KDE. As an example, I don't use Qt Creator, nor VS Code, honestly. So I wouldn't know. I do use a little bit of LLMs myself for development, but it's mostly going there and asking questions about specific, how would you write this code, or why am I getting this error? AI is actually currently extremely useful for that, but I don't do extensive vibe coding of just, write this for me and just copy. I don't do that. I don't use an IDE that's integrated with the AI. I'm in love with stuffs like Yakuake and kRunner and the complete customizability. Completely understandable. I don't use much either. I don't use either much. But yeah, I can understand why you would. I did use years ago to use both very often. What do you think about Falcon browser? I mean, don't use it. I don't think it's really developed currently, maintained, and also just use Firefox. Just use Firefox. I don't think there's currently a way around it right now. Right now, the only good free and open source browser is Firefox. Or forks or Firefox, sure. Hi Nico, how come you didn't make vids for a long time and now you're back with many? Also, are you still active politically? So the reason is I had a lot of things going on with my life. I was trying to finish university. I was working on KDE as a developer. I was doing politics, sort of. And yeah, in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna wrap up university. and then I'm gonna have more time to work on videos. Turns out wrapping up university is taking much longer than I initially wanted to. The plan was to just be done with it on March. That didn't work out. The current plan is to be done with it on September, which is the next available occasion, which is very annoying. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. So regardless, when my plans went wrong and I was like, oh shoot, I'm not gonna finish university in March. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna finish university in March, but I'm gonna do something for myself and just go back to do something that I like to do. So I went back doing videos. I had this side project of mine that I was really happy to have, and that it wasn't working on for a year because university and stuff. I just couldn't live with that anymore. Also, I really still active politically, very much so. Yeah, it's getting increasing. I'm getting more and more involved politically. I'm so into customization that I go into codes and SVG changes that I learned from you. Yeah, that's how I got involved with KDE development, really. I just went, okay, I want to customize KDE Plasma. And, well, sure, I can download themes, but I can also go inside of themes and change the SVGs. I know how to do that. And then I was like, okay, but what if I change the code? I can get even closer to what I want. And then I just became a developer. What programming language do you personally like? Python. I think Python is one of the very best languages right now. I'm also fascinated by functional programming languages, Haskell and such. I just don't get to use them. In my free time, I know very well Python, and that's what I use for most scripting tasks because it's really good at that. And for my job, it's JavaScript and C++ and QML, so that's what I use. I would like to use more of Haskell and such. And if I were to go compiled instead, I would probably go with Go. Golang is quite interesting, I think. I'd actually spent some time learning it, but again, I don't get to use it anywhere. We require topics. Do you have a most least preferred implementation of KDE in a distro? That's a good question, and I don't think I do. Especially because I'm not keeping up with that, honestly. Back some years ago, I did try to sort of get an understanding of how each distro customized KDE in their own way. Like Ubuntu was switching to the dark theme, which annoyed me. But yeah, nowadays I don't know what they're doing with it. Really, I don't. And I just use Arch Linux with KDE Plasma, and I get KDE Plasma as it should be. I mean, maybe I can put Arch Linux in my favorite implementation of Plasma because it's just Plasma. There's nothing on top of that, and that's what I want. Hey Nico, oh, there's even the Linux dude. Can I make money being a KDE dev? Yes. You got to become a KDE dev, you got to get hired. But yes, it's possible to make a living out of it. I currently do make a living. I don't know how long that might last. Depends on external and internal factors, but sure. If you do need skills and luck, I think, but you can make it. Well, for context, I'm currently employed by Tech Paladin, who also employs a bunch of KDE developers, but hiring KDE devs. There's also some other smaller, not smaller, but other companies with less KDE employees, but who still employ KDE developers. Sure, maybe not necessarily being a KDE developer, but being a KDE developer could help you land a job doing something closely related to KDE. Do you see Rust adoption in KDE? No, I don't see it. We would need Qt bindings for Rust. Sorry, there's that already, sure, but then we'd also need people to start writing Rust, and that's not really happening. And our entire code base is C++, and our APIs, our frameworks are mostly like C++. I'm not sure if you can access them through Rust. Probably there's some way you can, but people are just not doing that right now. Maybe that's gonna change, but right now I don't see it. We're just so reliant on C++. Hi Nico, viewer from Africa. Hello. Got a question for you. What would you recommend to be the best path towards being a Linux sysadmin? You're definitively asking the wrong person. I've never been a sysadmin. I'm not really sure how to become one, or like what it means completely. Like I have a rough idea of what a sysadmin should do, but I'm not that sure. I think you're forgetting to understand that not only do I like I don't even have a formal proper education in computer science. Like I studied mathematics. This whole thing started as a side hobby and then turned into a job, sure, but a development job. I don't know what sysadmins do. You should ask other YouTubers who come from the sysadmin space. I think that Veronica was a sysadmin. Which is the most exciting KDE from your point of view? Right now, the most exciting thing I think is the new theming system. That's gonna be a big deal. It's called Union. I've done a video about it, and that's gonna change how we do themes. And finally, we're gonna change that. I didn't like our current SVG approach, and it also did not allow us to use those kind of themes for applications, which is something we truly need. So Union should fix KDE theming, and I can't wait for it. What do you think about the state of Plasma Mobile 6 right now? Okay, to be fair, I haven't used it in a long time. I think it's a cool project. As all other mobile projects, I don't feel like right now it's yet usable for daily usage, and it also suffers from the question, in my opinion, to be clear, why not just Android? Personally, believe Android to be a very good system. Sure, Google is sort of messing that up, but still it's a good system, and it's open source. At least you can get an open source sort of open source. And sure, it would be better to have a Linux mobile ecosystem that's not Android. But yeah, I think it's great that it exists, but I'm probably gonna stick to Android. Glad you said Python. I admire you so much for being proficient in C++. I am not proficient in C++. I use it. I can sort of write it. I am not proficient in C++. Let's get that out of the way. Is it common to write desktops in C++? I'm not really sure. I only know one desktop. I think it's common. I think C++ is a normal language that people like use frequently. But again, don't overestimate my knowledge. What do you think of Temple OS? I've done an entire video on Temple OS, and I mean, it's a sad story if you think about it. The person behind the desktop, everybody of course makes fun of the desktop, the operating system itself, for its obvious quirkiness, but with the overall context, it's sad. Have you tried NixOS? No, I have not. I am aware that it exists. Doing the bare minimum. I am aware that it exists. Never tried it. Seems like a cool concept, and probably I would ask Luca to do a video about it. is better than me in these sort of things. New KDE theming, yes, new KDE theming is coming. KDE Union, go check my videos. I'm occasionally optimistic for Union. I just need to figure out where the Union wish list go. I would love if Union is able to 100% authentically recreate KDE Oxygen wine style. I don't know if it's gonna be able to do that. Probably it should, but right now that's not really the point. The point is to provide like some sort of CSS-like theming system. You can change colors, you can change borders, you can change corner radiuses, you can change that sort of stuff. Not necessarily go as far as putting like images right now, I think, but maybe surely long term we should have that for how Union is structured, or maybe it's not like a right now thing. But the cool thing is that it's gonna apply to like all applications, not just Plasma, so that's gonna be cool. Needs a lot of work, but I'm designing a subsystem for Nima OS Mobile to be able to easily run Waydroid for Android and Box 86 and Wine for Windows apps automatically. I've had a good experience with Waydroid, even playing games. Yeah, that's also a very interesting approach. I have used Waydroid in the past, and really the issue is outside our control, in that desktops and laptops, we can still sort of reliably put Linux on it right now. That might change in the future, but right now if you get a laptop, you probably can put Linux to it, and probably most of it is going to work. And that helps a lot. With mobile phones, you cannot do that. You have to get specific models. Actually, booting Linux is much harder, and by Linux I mean desktop mobile Linux. I don't see a path towards more widespread usage, and by widespread I don't mean mainstream, I just mean 3% or 2% as Linux current market share is on the desktops. It's just a very complex, sadly, a very complex market share to try to snatch away, especially because you need to have some really good software to get users there. I would like to see that, but it's kind of tough. I heard that Bella Plasma 6 will hit SteamOS stable soon. By the way, do you know why Valve is still on Plasma 5.27 on the deck? I do not. I feel like I should, but I do not. If I had to stability, they want to super double check that everything works before switching to a new major version. Also, Plasma 6 defaults to Wayland, so maybe they need to check for Wayland to work with everything first. I don't know. Maybe they're not gonna even use Wayland and just stick to X11. I don't know, guys. My point is, if you can reach parity with real Oxygen, you've basically met all themes designers then and there. Yeah, the goal right now is not to meet all the themers' dreams. It's to have something that works, and that works well, and that works fast, and that can apply to the whole desktop and applications. That's the number one priority. Then we can discuss more features to it, like PNGs and such. But first, let's make sure that it works decently. Right now, we are not there. That's the hardest part, the device support. Yeah. And I don't see a way out. And what I'm really scared of is the Linux market becoming actually, I have to do a video about this. Linux desktop laptop market becoming like phones. Linux phones support. Yeah. what I'm really scared of is desktops and laptops becoming similar to phones, as in you need to work on each single device to get it to work, and there's a lot of work to do on each device, and then most devices aren't supported, and there's only a few, so you have to buy that specific kinds of laptops to be able to run Linux. That's something I'm scared of, and that I could see happening as we move towards mobile CPUs, system on chips and such. Sure, they're very fast and battery efficient, but also, are they a threat to Linux? I don't know. I'm kind of scared. Why Linux so weird? No systemd in containers, doesn't work like normal. I have no clue what you're talking about here. Sorry. Will the tariffs and increased prices possibly improve the adoption rate of Linux? No. I don't see why that would happen. Especially because that would apply to smartphones and laptops and desktops, but those are excluded from the tariffs from China to the US, and maybe from the US to Europe, we still have those tariffs. No, we don't, because they've been on hold. So there's no tariffs currently on laptops and smartphones. Those prices shouldn't go up. And even if, I don't really see how it would help Linux adoption. I just don't get your thinking here. I started as a Java developer, transitioned to software architect, build environment admin, and now I'm preparing 100% Linux-based dev laptop plus the remote administration. Fun times till existing Windows restriction come into play. That's nice to hear. 100% Linux-based dev laptops. What do you think of KDE OS? Koshi, I don't know how it's pronounced. I've heard of the name. I don't remember. Blazingly fast OS based on Arch Linux. Yeah, I had no clue what that was. So I don't have an opinion on it. Designed to deliver lightning fast speeds and stability, blah blah blah. Okay, but what's like the difference with Arch? Oh, it's blurry. Does compile packages. Okay, to provide high performances. I have no clue if that's true. Maybe we can add it to the topics to do a video on. Though I'm probably way too late. Bohr scheduler for better interactivity, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Okay, interesting. I would like to see benchmarks. Maybe in the future I'm gonna investigate that. I love KDE and the ecosystem so much, but sometimes I wish that FlatHub had more Qt apps because I love consistency between apps. I mean, Qt is even on Windows, and Krita and KDE Live are awesome. Fair? KDE OS answers the question of use compiler optimizations with yes? Okay. I'm gonna ask Luca to know a bit about that. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm really happy that I can just outsource to somebody more skilled than me these kind of topics that I don't know anything about. I was saying, sorry. Yes, more Qt applications on FlatHub. I think that's happening long term. More and more applications are going to be there. I really like FlatHub, and KDE has a good relationship with the FlatHub project. I think it's happening. I think we're safe there. What I mean is systemd doesn't work like normal on Docker, Podman, LXC containers. Yeah, but I really don't know anything about that. Nothing. I haven't the slightest clue how systemd works, honestly, but especially how it works inside of a container. I don't even know what a container is, or rather how it works. I have a rough guess. I don't know. Good night, it's 4 a.m. Yeah, you should go back to sleep. Do you believe Valve will release SteamOS for regular PC users? I think they said that they planned. No, they didn't say they planned that. But I do remember a Linux Tech Tips videos. No, but I don't remember. I think they will sooner or later. Like, surely people are interested in that. People would use it, and Valve would certainly get some soft power by people using it. So if I had to guess, I think they're gonna do it. And I think that was mentioned in a Linux Tech Tip video, but I don't know. The stream is lagging. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. I see the dropped frames dropping, but if my phone isn't phoning, there's not much I can do. Yeah, sadly, that's sort of it. You just have to wait for my phone to pick things up. Yeah, I've got bad internet. Nothing I can do about that. CushyOS used to be faster due to kernel specifically. Okay. I was saying makes sense to just say something. Reality is I have no clue what you just said. Not because you said it wrong or incorrect. I just don't know that. I read an interesting comment about how Fedora's atomic spins are very useful for building custom versions like Bassite and theoretical AU OS. Yes, that's a thing. Probably I don't know much more than you about that. But like, I'm really interested in like atomic and I don't remember the word, immutable distributions. I think those are a safe path towards a larger adoption. It's certainly, if I had to give my girlfriend who isn't very Linuxy Linux distro, I would go for an immutable one. That's a much safer bet. How's university? Been better. I'm missing 2 exams for my bachelor. It's just 2, which seems like a low number. But also I hate university right now. I just hate it. So you mentioned that you use GNOME-like experience on KDE. Yeah, that was a while ago. Now I just use the defaults. Yeah, that was something that happened as part of being yeah, I see the frames dropping like crazy, but nothing I can do really. I was saying, yes, as part of being a KDE developer, I just got closer and closer to the defaults over time. At the beginning, I was customizing KDE like crazy, custom widgets, custom themes. I was developing my own. Now I just use the defaults. I need to dog feed my own work. Can you make a video about the KDE background monster Akonadi? No, I'm not gonna do that. Or if I do one, it's to say it's not a background monster. But I'm probably not gonna do that. It's a bit of a niche topic, I think. I don't know. Is there any chance of Miller columns returning to Dolphin and bringing back merging windows in tabbed windows like Cosmic has? The thing is, yes, if somebody does it. But who's gonna do it? Go ahead. Somebody. we are a volunteer-led project. Either somebody feels like they want to do it, or it's not happening. Right now, nobody is interested in working on either feature. So currently it's not happening. But maybe tomorrow somebody will wake up and say, you know what, today I feel like Miller columns. And that's gonna be it. We don't know. We need interest in it. You can like try to convince current KWin developers that it's a very important thing to have. Currently it's not in their plans, so yeah, right now it's not happening. I think my assumption that comparing looking to decrease cost might turn companies looking to decrease costs might turn to Linux because of tariffs. Yes, but I still don't see the point of that. Like your point is, so say I am a company providing a product unrelated to technology, let's say, and my primary source of material is foreign, and now I've got to pay tariffs on that. So in an effort to reduce costs on that, I try to cut costs elsewhere, and to do that, I decide to switch to Linux to get rid of the Windows licenses and save costs on that instead. I think this is your point. I really don't think it's going to happen anywhere. I think that when you have to cut costs, you don't switch to Windows, you don't switch to Linux. There are so many other places to cut costs, and I think that when you're in a difficult economical situation, probably switching to Linux is not something you do. What if something goes wrong? You're already in a difficult situation and you're switching to a different whole operating system, and if that goes wrong, you're in real trouble. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see it. How do you think about a better backup and restore features for KDE Plasma user settings? I mean, it would be cool to have it, but again, nobody is working on it, and it's also not super easy to implement. I think it's not super easy to implement because each KDE application can have their own config themes, obviously. No. Config files, obviously. So how do you even know about all of the KDE configs? Because it's like if you download a random third-party apps, it's going to have its own config files. And the thing is that KDE apps behave independently. Like each app is its own application. It can be run even without KDE Plasma. So obviously it has its own config themes. So you have to sort of distinguish between not easy. Yeah, I would like to say that. It's also probably not happening. There are some third-party efforts which like back up some config files hard-coded. That's something. In learning C as my first programming language, any tips or advice? I don't feel like I'm good at writing C. I think I like know the basics of it. Advice on learning C? I have no clue whatsoever. I wouldn't start with C personally, but probably somebody's forcing you. But if you were to ask me, I would start with like Python. But if you want to start from C, then I don't know, just do it. Write code every day, read the books. I don't know, I don't have good advice to give here. What are you asking me? Nico Senpai, what Linux distros are common within the KDE Plasma devs? Oh, this is a good question. So I use Arch. I don't think it's that common. I've seen some people on Neon, obviously Neon. I've seen some on Kubuntu. I've seen some on OpenSUSE. I've seen some on Fedora, certainly. And right now, these are the names that pop up to mind. I've said like half of the most common KDE distros, but yeah, it's good that there's some diversity, I think. I'm not sure which one would be the most common distribution out there for KDE developers. I don't know. EU OS, what that? Yeah, go watch the video. Phone is not phoning. Yeah, sorry about that. Your favorite desktop after KDE GNOME? Easily. I mean, come on. What else? Yeah, I really, in my mind, there's KDE, there's GNOME, and there's a long distance between that and anything else. Like, I feel like any other desktop is not yet close to either KDE Plasma or GNOME. Those are the true options in the Linux world, I think. But I realize this is a very personal opinion. Is there any... I'm guessing that more European governments will... oh, yeah, I'm dropping frames again. I don't know why today is such a bad... Okay, now I'm connected. Oh, come on, sorry. I really don't know what's up with the internet today. I'm gonna probably stop soon, because if it's this bad, yeah, makes no sense at all. I was saying, more European governments will move away from US tech products. I don't know. Could happen. In many ways, I'm not sure there's like non-US available alternatives. So you're just sort of stuck with them. Especially for like tech products. I don't know. We need to wait and see, especially because right now, as far as I'm aware, there's no additional tariffs between US and Europe. Like that was dropped, if I recall correctly, or at least delayed. Who knows what's going on with the US government? Like there's a very there's a child driving the country, so maybe tomorrow they're just gonna self-explode. Could happen, for all we know. Is there any plan to fully deprecate X11 in Plasma? Yes, for Plasma 7, which is in years and years, so you're safe. But also, yes, it's gonna happen. First time watching live? Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. APAP support in Ocular One. I have got no clue, but you should use Arianna. Arianna is the application that I started and somebody else finished. Mostly Carl. And that supports EPUBs. So use Arianna. Learn how pointers work inside and out. So this is funny, because I feel like I understand pointers on a theoretical level, but on a practical level, I realize that since I've never had a proper computer science education, I never really studied properly these things, I have this sort of understanding that very often fails. And it fails on the most stupid things, like, okay, stars and ends, the operands in C++. I'm not sure if they have more specific names, the star and the end, the ampere, I don't know. Yeah, I know the concept behind them. I don't know which one's which, and I never can remember. So I just sort of guess which one, and I just look around in the code to figure it out. but yeah, I should. When part of me says I should probably study that properly. Parts of me says, are you gonna do that with your life long term? So I don't know. Read Modern C. Yeah, I probably should do that. Nice to meet you. Cosmic is really good. Okay, fair enough. Cosmic is not really good. It might become really good in the future. Currently, it's still too much in development to get close. But it could be the third desktop in the Linux space in the future, I think. What's the worst part of Plasma in your opinion? Sorry, didn't sleep very well. The worst part of Plasma. Let me think this through. What's the worst part of Plasma? I think we have a serious problem with feeling, or well, the lack of the feeling like your desktop is something solid, which seems dumb, but it's really something. You can have a customization and still feel like the system is not gonna break from one moment to the next. That doesn't happen in Plasma. Plasma does give you the feeling that everything's gonna collapse if you do something incorrectly. Like this very unstable feeling. And that's because of some bad animations, some bugs, certainly, some like little, these sort of things. Like you need proper animations, you need things to work correctly, you need things to be intuitive. In KDE Plasma, we often lack that. We often have weird, unexpected behaviors, some missing animations or some bad animations. But it's a very long way to fix all of these things for a desktop that's as complex as Plasma. So we just kind of have to live with it. We tried our best. We are trying our best to fix these kind of things, but it's part of the deal. Looks like it's for mobile. No, Ariana is for desktop as well. Maybe you should record at 24 FPS. Maybe I should. It's too late to change that now, but maybe I should have. How to make Ventoy have persistent storage? I don't know what Ventoy is. Is it a common thing to prefer software with thinner defaults once you grow up? Yeah, could be a thing. I feel like Plasma has sane defaults. but yeah, if you're comparing it to DWM, yeah, I can see that happening. Like you get a real job. No politics, only easy subjects. Let's talk about Hazai Linux recent events. Yeah, that's certainly not politics. So, how about that? Sorry, I'm really tired. Yes, people still seriously tell me, no politics. You shouldn't do politics. Which is completely missing the point of what I do, sadly. So first of all, let me remind everybody that I am in a political party, that I work often in the political party, and that I'm not currently candidate in any election, but I will be in the future, surely. Some kind of election. And part of this channel is politics. I'm not gonna shut up on politics. So Nico, I highly recommend the book Computer Systems: A Programmer Perspective if you want to go deeper on CS. Yes, but that is the point. Do I want to go deeper on computer science? It's not an easy question. As a teen, I thought I would. But right now, I have so many life paths ahead of me. Not sure if CS is going to be a major part of my life anymore. I don't know. I seriously don't know. Maybe I will. Ariana has almost no settings. What happened there? Even Foliate seems to have more options. Ariana doesn't feel like a KDE app. I think it's just a matter of not being very developed. Yeah, I don't think it's very maintained as an application. Maybe I'm wrong. Not politics, just religion. So regarding religion, I'm actually strongly atheist. I don't believe in any god. And I sort of strongly despise the Catholic Church. So that's where I stand. Your SSL cert expired. Yes, I know. Again, don't overestimate me. I have no clue how to properly run a server. Somebody else set it up for me. And the certificates keep on expiring. I get emails about it. Now I won't get emails anymore because Let's Encrypt stopped sending me emails. I think I'm just gonna switch my current website over to Blahaj Land, which I should sponsor more frequently. I just have so many things to do. I'm losing threads all over the place. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it expired until I switch it to something else entirely. I just don't want to keep this cycle of me redoing the certificate and then it expiring without being automatically renewed as it should. Make your website go through Cloudflare. I don't know how to do it. Like, I could, how I usually do things, I pay somebody to deal with it. I don't know how to do it. I could learn, but also I have 1,000 other things to work on. This is not exactly my priority, get my website working. Libre News has to be working. TheLibre.news has to be working at all times. But my personal website, who cares? I can help if you want. It's really easy. I appreciate the offer. I think I have a path forward. In that, I'm just gonna switch things to Blahaj.land. We use certbot for auto renewal. Yes, somebody also set up certbot on my server. Evidently, something went wrong, and I should probably fix it. But I should pay somebody to fix it. And right now, it's not my priority. So So we've got Temple OS references, obviously, since I talked about faith. I'm just sleeping today. Maybe your server doesn't auto-reload the certs. I wrote a custom Tomcast listener that does now for 0 downtime. I think this is it. I think I vaguely recall this being the issue. Yeah, I think it was a reload thing. That I was doing something and then rebooting. I don't remember. I'm able to fix it once. I'm not able to fix it permanently. I'm surely just gonna switch it to something else. What framework are you using for the Libre News? It's Ghost. The website is Ghost. And everything else is handled by Blahaj.land. Why is Linux media so annoying? Almost like the stereotypes a bit. Genuine accept you. Oh, thanks. Why is Linux media so annoying? I mean, it depends. Actually, most of the coverage that I see is very nice. Like OMG Ubuntu, it's FOSS. Those, like the Linux LWN, I think, too. They're very factual, very, very respectful. Never had many issues with them. You could make a point for like other YouTubers that are more annoying. I'm not sure if I would use the word annoying, but I do see where you're coming from. And I do try to avoid that as a general thing, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I can provide much insight, but it's a good question. I have to think about it. I suppose we've already moved on from politics, but I'm still curious. Whoa. Are there any political parties in Europe consistently pushing for Linux and free and open source in the public sector? Oh, that's a really good question that I should know the answer for. So I think the safest bet on that would be the Pirate Party, which, yeah, I think it's by far the safest bet. The Pirate Party, if you don't know, and if you're asking me, you probably don't know, is a very cool concept. Basically, the idea is to have a political party which tries to candidate itself in each state election for the European general election. Okay, I'm now realizing that either you know the context of this or it's going to be hard to explain. Let me try that, just for those who don't live in Europe and don't know how this works. So there's Europe, we have European elections, but how that works is that each country votes for itself and votes for its local parties. So here in Italy, for the European elections, I vote for my local Italian parties. So at the end, the European Parliament is going to be made of representatives from each local party of each country. So there's in the Parliament some people from the Progressive Party in Italy, some people from the Progressive Party in France, and so on, as an example. So what a Pirate Party is trying to do, and Volt is another party trying to do that, is they're trying to create a party that's trans-European, in the sense that they try to candidate themselves in each local election with the same name. So there's the Italian Pirate Party, the French Pirate Party, and it's the same Pirate Party everywhere. So it's like this confederation that's one party, but it's actually split into multiple local parties. And the Pirate Party is very strongly about free and open source software. It's about protecting the user's rights and privacy. It's about legalizing piracy. And so they, I think, managed in the previous administration, I think they had the previous parliament, I think they had 3 parliamentaries, and I think they have 1 now. Pirate Party, how many do you have currently? Oh, come on, you should have. Ah, yes, you do have an American, like, Pirate Party, so you should know about them. Of course, there's the international Pirate Party thing. The European Pirate Party. How many seats? Yeah, they have 1 right now. Yeah, that was sad. I preferred when they had 3, but now they have 1. But Volt grew, and yeah. KDE was known for being lighter than GNOME. Does this still hold up? I think it does. I think KDE is currently a bit lighter than GNOME. I don't have the numbers to back it up though. Blah blah blah. Yeah, idle memory usage as a good benchmark is probably not a good benchmark. We really should focus on free and open source here in Poland. By the way, Poland has a great Pirate Party. Very, it exists and gets votes, which is more than most countries. There's a duopoly in school software, and they paywall basic features behind the subscription. Whoa. Okay, that's really bad. Nico said that Neri is a WL root compositor. I actually mispronounced the sentence. I misread it. I didn't write the script, look at it, and he didn't write this. But the way I pronounced it, it seemed like I was saying that. My mistake. I do videos every day for months. Mistakes happen. I'm really sorry about that. Nobody really cares. I don't know what you're referring about. Is there any chance that the KDE theme ever makes a browser that is based from KDE WebKit? No, KDE WebKit is dead. What political party are you part of? The Italian Democratic Party, which is a progressive left-wing party. My laptop doesn't have HDR. I never had a laptop with HDR, actually. One day I will. One day I will, and it's gonna work one day. They're both really aggressive in legal stuff. Students made a free and open source front end, but they decided to block them and send a cease and desist. Yeah, these sort of things are super annoying. It's a bit better here in Italy. You do have FOSS front ends for the school stuff. I used one myself back when I was in school. I can see your frustration. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect you to be from Italy. Yes, I am. I've been my whole life. You should know by now. I actually mention Italy like decently often. Thoughts on sealing the 7 Seas for Hogwarts so money is not used to fund genocide? Sailing the 7 Seas for Hogwarts. Okay. I feel like there's some context here that I'm missing. Not the genocide part, I do get that, but sailing the 7 Seas, 7 Seas for Hogwarts. Let me Google that. I don't know how to spell Hogwarts apparently. Yeah, do you mean like avoiding Hogwarts stuff? Yeah, honestly, J.K. Rowling, what a dick. What a dick. Especially like with the recent news. I don't like her at all. Ah, okay. Okay, now I get it. Okay, now I get what you're asking. Or just don't. Just don't play it. I don't know. Maybe I don't get it, but I don't feel like it's a particularly appealing game. There's so many good games out there. I don't feel like that is one of them. J.K. Rowling is a sad human. I don't think she's sad, actually. I think she has the normal struggles of everybody. I just think she's dead wrong. But she's also that certain in her convictions, and she's doing everything she can to, bring forward her case, which is a very shitty one. That's our issue. Camera focus, yeah. I think that I put the focus point somewhere here, and if I move too much, it goes out of focus. Yeah, piracy. Sorry, I missed that. I didn't catch that. In our school, they use Ubuntu 18. I would expect public institutions to have like very old versions of like everything. I want to see the torrent just after spite. I don't like the game. I mean, legally speaking, that's illegal. Don't do that. But yeah. Well, at least J.K. Rowling is being well represented by the current US administration. And honestly, half of the administrations in the world, we are not in a great situation for like trans rights. But we'll keep fighting. Yeah, just don't associate with people that hate you. Is that simple? Better games, we got Key Sudoku. Yeah, Key Sudoku is fire. Yeah, I wasn't thinking Key Sudoku as an alternative to Hogwarts, but now I was thinking of amazing games like Disco Elysium, like Outer Wilds, like the new Riven, Myst Riven. There's so many great games. I recently played Life is Strange, the double exposure, which was sadly bad. I keep playing Life is Strange games and I keep being let down by them. See, this is what I don't understand. When you have so much money to spend on a product, which has such a strong brand, what's the problem that prevents, like, do they have bad writers? Or is there some other issue that prevents good writers to translate to a good game? What's the issue there? I don't get it. Because I don't think they had bad writers. Some parts of it felt really sophisticated. But the game is bad. And not due to like mechanics or graphics. The story is actually bad. It translates badly. What went wrong? Sorry, this was entirely uncalled for. I just got on is anyone in your party, I guess PD, yes PD, interested in FOSS usage in public offices? Not much. It's something I want to change. I think as part of my activism, I'm gonna begin to like push strongly internally for this. Maybe nobody cares? I do. So I'm gonna make it everybody's problem over the long term. It's a tradition at this point. Kolf. Xonotic is the best game. I don't know that. Xonotic. Okay, sure. Did you hear about the CVE situation? Yes, I was supposed to make a video about it today. I didn't sleep enough, honestly. Didn't feel like writing a complex video as the CVE. If I feel like it, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But only if I feel like it. Because I'm not serious. I don't take this as a serious job. Disco Elysium creators got kicked out. So if you buy from Steam, they don't get any money. Yes, but actually the situation is much more complex. I actually went through hours-long videos about the situation. I was very interested in them. And it really feels like one of those situations where every single party involved is a dick. Like, sure, the new owner, a dick. But also the original creators, also dicks. And yet the game is probably the best game I've ever played. I keep thinking, going back at it, it's not the one I have the most feeling towards. My childhood games to me are more important, like Cave Story and such, and Riven. But Disco Elysium is probably the best game I've ever played. Minecraft. Good thing Brody made one then. It's actually the second time that I schedule a video for a day, and then Brody came out on the same exact topic the evening before. Happens, this thing. It's not an issue, by the way. I just can do the video anyway and nothing bad happens. It's just weird to go to sleep and open my phone and Brody publishing the video exactly on the topic I was going to work on the next day. I'm missing a lot of questions, by the way. Cyberpunk, yeah, I was also not sold on Cyberpunk. I don't see the appeal of it. Minecraft I played for a lot of years. it's okay. Which is the best color scheme? I'm personally big a fan of the solarized light. So just solarized. Software engineer and UX designer. Really great UX. That's great. Okay, 1 of 2. Can I find? Yes, 2 of 2. It's tedious and intuitive to add or remove shortcuts to arbitrary programs in the menu if no uninstallation process did so already. Curious to hear your thoughts on this as a KDE developer. I don't have any specific thoughts on this. I do get what you mean. Yeah, no, sorry, I don't have any specific thoughts on this. It's something that is slightly higher than my pay grade. I'm not sure how shortcuts are managed by the system. Because, I mean, it's probably also different between Wayland and X11, so that's a mess as well. It's difficult to achieve consistency, even internally. Yeah, it's a good question. I have to think more about it. Is that a Sholing Monk Nico in the channel PFP? Sholing Monk Nico. One-time artifacts. Okay. Use the menu editor to add shortcuts. How can Disney be producing shit? No, that's different. That's different. Disney is producing exactly what it wants to produce, I think. It's more complex than that. But I think the issue with Disney is that they think what they are doing is gonna work. I think that's the vision. With Life is Strange, it's different. Life is Strange, they are trying to appeal to a certain target demographic, but they can't because they are doing bad story games with a bad story. It's so weird. Disney is very different as a topic. They know. I think Disney roughly knows what they're doing. They have their issues, but roughly knows what they're doing, and that's why they're in business. They managed to appeal to the target demographic somewhat. Life is Strange just fails throughout. Just look at the reviews, they're all so bad. Can you say perplexing in your accent? I really like your accent. Yeah, perplexing. Come on, don't make fun of me. He got the time zone advantage. I mean, depends how you look at it. I could have the time zone advantage because I publish videos in the morning, whereas he does it in the evening for me. So, but of course, most times it's just coincidence. There's no advantage really. If anything, I have the advantage because Europe is more the time zone where things happen, so I can report on them. Is Linux even popular among younger people? I feel like I'm the only one in my group using Linux. Yeah, completely normal. Not many people are using Linux even in any age group. If you use Linux, again, in any age group, you're probably going to be the only person in your friend group using Linux. Completely normal. Some may have heard about Kali and Ubuntu, but that's it. Is Linux growing more with younger or older people? I think it's more common with younger people, but it's still so uncommon that even in young people, you're still going to be the only person using Linux. Sorry. Going to university and playing nothing except the odd racing sim in my spare time? Sure, you don't have to play the games that I said, but you should. You definitely should. How many views did this live stream get, by the way? 500. Yeah, that's not much. This was a bit of an experiment as well. Like, should I do live streams instead of videos some days? Looks like the answer is gonna be, yeah, don't. There is a new project called FHT Compositor. Make a video on it. Sure. I take comments. Like, can you at least like ask me? FHT Compositor. Gonna check it out. Do you ever consider or have time to do live coding sessions or building something? No, not anymore. I don't think they're interesting to enough people, and also now I get paid to work on KDE Plasma, and I can't exactly share everything that I work on, so I just can't do them. How do I get rid of this context? Okay. Nico, in India, Linux adoption is really good. See distro watch charts. Yes, I've seen them. I should like the thing is, they are charts. They are reliable up to a certain point. So what I would like to see is Indian people telling me whether they actually see that reflected in reality. So go ahead, tell me. I was the only people who's used computers in the entire group. Yeah, relatable. I can see that happening. Is there any licensing hurdles preventing desktops or distros from implementing Yast-like tools? What is Yast-like tools? Yast. Okay, what's Yast? Operating system setup, yet another setup tool. Yeah, I don't think there's any license or legal issue. I think it's just hella complex. But I don't know Yast, so I'm not gonna pretend like I can give a competent comment for that. Did you say France Docs, open source alternative to Notion? France Docs. France and Germany unveil Docs, a homegrown alternative to Google Docs. Ooh, I did miss this. This is interesting. I think we have Nextcloud, which is enough. But France and Germany... collaborative writing and informational sharing service. Okay. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down and investigate it. It's a very interesting, could totally be a video topic. Valkey to replace Redis in the extra repository. Yeah, see, that's the issue. I could beat Broti on this topic if I had the slightest clue on what it meant. Valkey, I don't know what Valkey is. To replace Redis, I don't know what Redis is. I vaguely know, wait, memories are coming back. Redis had, yes, the license thing, yes. Okay. Was Valkey like the fork of Redis? Yes, but also, how do you make an entire video out of this? Do you do a video that starts from this and then gives context about the difference? I don't know. It would take me a day to to investigate properly. So I'm not gonna beat Brody because Brody already knows about all of this, whereas I'm much more ignorant. That's the big issue. There is no one using Linux here. Okay, that's not good. Will all centered apps menus in Plasma 7? Is that how is that a question? Will all menus be centered in Plasma 7? Is that the question? And is there a design with blurring? In general, what can we expect for Plasma? There is no Plasma 7, guys and girls, and non-binary folks. There is no Plasma 7. There's no such thing. One day there will be one. One day in the future. Right now, there's nothing about Plasma 7. Absolutely nothing except one thing, and it's that X11 is going to probably be GUA maintained. That's the only thing. There's nothing else about Plasma 7. Will Plasma get quick settings like feature in the future? If somebody implements it. Right now, nobody's working on it. Love you, baby. Yeah, love you too. What are your favorite Bella Fermo Grazia? Bella Fermo Grazia. What? Yeah, I have no clue what Bella Fermo Grazia means. Favorite KDE apps? I personally think Krita and KDE Live is great. What are your top 3? KDE apps. Top 3 KDE apps. Ooh, Dolphin, KDE Live. Ooh, third one is difficult. Conan, just use the word folks. Yeah, I usually use that one. But sometimes I forget and I just have to circle back on that. Valkey is a key value database. It's a fork of Redis. So yes, I was remembering that vaguely. But also, how do I do a video about Arch Linux switching away from Redis? Like, there, I said it. That's the whole video. I don't know. Most people in India only have access to mobile phones or mobile internet. Access to laptop computer is a privilege. See, I'm tremendously ignorant about how other countries work. I wasn't really guessing that. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. The stereotype here is that there's computers. I don't know. I didn't know. It's cool to have people telling me. Roddy Roberts. Linux adoption depends on community. Many people use it in engineering college. Yeah, makes sense. But honestly, in here, I'm guessing you mean in India. Or maybe you don't, I don't know. That's because you mentioned India earlier, I don't know. But in college here, even IT, computer science, I see so few people using Linux daily. Like they use it for development, for like Windows subsystem, but they don't use Linux really. Have you met RMS? I have. Haha, I have. I made a picture with him. I don't know if you know, but it's really fun to ask him for a selfie, because it's like what he's gonna tell you, if he still is don't ask me. Just come here and take a picture. I'm not gonna acknowledge you. I'm just gonna pretend that you don't exist. You just come here and take a picture, and that's gonna be it. Which was weird as fuck. So I did that. I went there and I took my picture. And he didn't acknowledge me. What do you think about him? He has some serious issues. I phrased that incorrectly. The fact that he's the face of the free software movement is a serious issue. Because I want the free software movement to grow, and that's not the right face to give a movement, and movements do need a face. So yeah, no. Not a fan of the guy. Vibe coding is just bad. I don't know. I disagree. Actually, in some contexts, vibe coding is great. And by the way, I have to try the new OpenAI Codex thing. I'm very curious on how well it works. Vape coding. Make AI do everything for you blindly, GS. Yes, but in some contexts, it's able to do so. It's able to do so quickly. And in certain use cases, let me give you a straight example. One day, I needed to publish a portfolio. And I had a client that asked me for my portfolio. And I didn't have one. I had the photos, but also there were some videos in it, and I needed a way to send my portfolio in a way that exposed the pictures and also the videos and also links to other works on the social. So it couldn't be a PDF. It couldn't be a Google Drive folder because it had to embed things. I just had to do a website. And I had to do it in like 10 minutes because I had to send out this portfolio. So I just went to ChatGPT and said, build me a pretty website that showcases pictures, videos, and has these links. Voila, just worked. And I had a website and it looked good. And it was responsive, adaptive to phone and desktop. And you could like expand picture. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted in 10 minutes. Would have taken me hours. I would have made it. Taken me hours. And I in some contexts, when you need something very quickly, somewhat simple, works great. There's a donation, which is awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the awesome work content. Thank you so much. I'm really trying here, trying our best. To be fully honest, I'm sort of stressed now about the future of the channel because I'm really putting a lot of effort and money into it. I hired a person to work on videos and scripts. And well, right now I'm losing money on the channel. So donations are awesome. Thank you so much. So hopefully we can go positive one day and go profitable one day. Not even profitable, just not losing so much money. Where did you meet him? It was my university. He went to my university to hold a talk. So I just went to my university. And it's cool because it actually was one of the rooms where I study in my university. And that's cool to see him here. Now I would rather see someone else as the face of the free software movement. I'm not sold on RMS. They coded more on lead code than any code editor. Santa isn't real. Plasma 7 isn't real. Always been. Vibe coding is not just a bad start, it sets you up badly from programming all over. Yeah, but again, depends on the context. If you know coding, you would be able to do what you're trying to do, but you need something quickly for the certain limited time use case you're not gonna continue working on it. Like another example, okay? Currently there's election in my city, there's like polls coming out, and one thing I want to do, and I'm not gonna do it, I'm just gonna ask somebody else to do it, and the AI can do it, is build a quick website that displays the graph of the average of the polls over time. Super useful to have. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I've got a file with this structure, with the polls, make me a pretty website to showcase the average over time. And also, here's the JSON file with the precincts in my city. So I should put an OpenStreet embed with those precincts and show on hover the votes on each. It's just gonna work. And that's awesome. I would be able to do that, to be clear. But I have other things to do, and the choice is between the website not existing and the website existing thanks to AI. It has changed how we do things. Um, Someone starting with no skills would have no idea how to do that. Sure, if you start with no skills, it's useful to get your hands dirty. When learning a new language, I personally do use AI significantly because it's useful not to make it write the code for you, but as a question answer. It's significantly better than manuals and guides in most respects. I would donate if I could and wasn't in Iran. Hopefully you'll be making a lot of profits on the channel soon. Thanks for your kind words. Don't feel any pressure on that. And honestly, I don't need profits. I need to break even. That's the goal. I just got here. What music do you enjoy? Italian rap. Honestly, rap. Eminem. I was hoping to say another name after Eminem, but my mind just sort of spaced out. In Italy, I like Caparezza, I like Rancore, I like Willy Peyote, but you probably don't know like Italian rap unless you're Italian, so that's not gonna be very helpful for you. But I also love like Billie Eilish. I've listened to a lot of Chappell Roan, sort of stuff. Caparezza fan, yes. Do you like Star Trek? Not a particularly big fan. It's not like I dislike it. I just haven't watched much of it. I did like what I watched. I just didn't really watch much of it. Nico, new face of the free and open source movement. Honestly, I'm gonna counter your comment. Nick, like if it keeps growing at this pace, like the content creators could very well become the new faces of certain movements. And I think like Nick is the biggest free and open source face in the content creator space. Nico is the face of cute Linux YouTubers. Billy is fire. Yeah. I sort of dislike the trend of their music. As in, I really like the first album, sort of like the second, sort of ish like the third. So I don't like the trend, but I still like all of them. What is Billy, Eminem, or Caprezza? Singers. I'm fresh from your video on AUOS. Do you think that something like RHEL or Debian with non-frequent release would be better as a base distro? I think it literally doesn't matter right now, because the issue with EU not having a common operating system for the public sector is not the base system. That's not the issue. There's a lot of work to do, and who cares about what that work is based on? I think literally it does not matter at all. Willy lives in Rome. I also saw the band's keyboard player hitting H3RPS while playing. Music was awesome. Yeah, I also saw Willy live here in my city. It was a very weird concert because it was in the middle of the pandemic, and we were all supposed to sit down in chairs instead of like behave as one would in a concert. And there was this weird mix of people wanting to party, but also not being supposed to, which was funny. Very awkward, but funny. Give a quick recap of Italian politics. So currently we have two main coalitions, left wing and right wing. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Too much information to give. It's not a dedicated free software person, but he does a fair bit of stuff around Linux software, at least more than an LTT, for example. I would even say like he is a dedicated free software person, really. Like sure, not 1000%, but nobody should be 1000% free software. Like RMS is, and RMS is not believable due to that. So this is actually an interesting topic. Let me say that. When RMS goes to held free software topics and people come to him with genuine question saying, I would like to switch to Linux, but as an example, my application is proprietary, I need it for work, it's not working, what do I do? RMS answer is like, just stop using proprietary software altogether and just don't use it. Which is a non-answer. Like, okay, he didn't exactly say that. I was there. But he is so extremist in free software that is not appealing or convincing to the general public. Because actual genuine problems like, I would like to use open source software, I cannot right now due to constraints, is met with, just forget about the constraints. Like, I don't know, get fired or convince your workplace not to use proprietary software, and that's not gonna work. Yeah, if everybody pings me, it's sort of hard to follow the discussion. It's equivalent of saying to somebody, stop being poor. You are like Linux TLDR channel, if you know their network of channels. I actually don't. I don't know them. I'll check. I'm always open to like take inspiration from other channels. Aside from Breeze, what other UI design languages do you like? Very good question. Reality is, I'm not a UI designer. I'm not anything. I'm not really a developer. I'm not really a UI designer. So I'm not really up to date with these kind of things. In the past, I was a really big fan of material design. Very bland, easy material design. I really liked it. Nowadays, I don't know. But really, I'm not really up to date with UI trends and stuff. I wouldn't even be able to name different design languages to you. Breeze needs an update. Breeze is being updated a lot, but with the new theming system, it's probably going to be easier to keep on improving it. Do you have a cat? I don't. I'm so happy that I finally got rid of cats. I've always lived with cats for the past like 5 years of my life, and I hate cats, so finally I got rid of them. Yeah, people are not gonna like this answer. Oh, I'm not even seeing all the chats. Okay, whoops. I like neo-brutalist design. See, I have no clue what neo-brutalism look like. Neo-brutalism UI. Versal. Oh, this. Oh, okay. High contrast, bright colors, and bold shapes used for high-catching statements, UI web design. Sure, it's something. It's not what I would go for, but it looks pretty, so I get it. RMS hardheadedness is useful for pinning the Overton window. That is a good way to put things, yeah, okay, fair enough. But he is a dreadful as a public face of the free software movement. I also agree with that. What's your favorite way to travel? Walking. I generally walk everywhere if I can. Otherwise, something else. David, there's David. Oh no. Oh no. The cat thing is firing back already. By the way, David, I haven't forgot at all that I invited you to be interviewed. I haven't forgotten at all. I still want to take on that. But I have work issues that prevent me from doing interviews right now, so I'm not doing them, very sadly. But as soon as I'm able to get back to interviews, I will ping you. As an Italian, do you plan to make content into your native language sometimes? Not really. No. I don't have the time, and I don't see any reason to try to appeal to a smaller demographic than what I'm otherwise already appealing to. So, no, I'm not gonna do that. Take your time, no problem. Nice, thank you. There's so much going on right now, so many things. Trying my best to keep everything together. Come stai? Very fitting for what I just said. No, I'm. Oh no, the camera. No. I have to change the battery when this happens. I will be back. Let me change the battery. Okay. Almost done. Hello? 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 Why isn't it turning on? The images of the cats. Good one. Okay, so the camera is not working. Let me give 1 minute to fix this. Go on. It's on. Yeah, we're back. Oh no, we're also super out of sync. Let's reboot and see if that fixes it. Okay, should be fixed now. Yeah, I do have a new camera, by the way. I just bought a new Lumix, which should be much better at this, but I actually use the Lumix for photography work right now, so I can't plug it in. So yeah. I'm back. Invisible cat took the batteries. No, we're safe. We're back. What was I doing? I think you'll love this. I am from India and people here love making memes about my prime minister dating yours. I am well aware of that fact. We even have an hashtag melody. I am well aware of that. Yeah, it's a very funny trend. I do love it. Did you ever contribute anything in GNOME? No, I haven't actually. I'm not opposed to it. I just wouldn't be able to. I don't know how they do things over there. But sure, if I switch to GNOME in the future, I would contribute to them. But I prefer KDE Plasma right now. Yeah, using English to have like a wider audiences. It's really good. Is that a meme in Italy as well? Do other Italians know it? Yeah, we are aware of it. we are aware of it. You did enough memes that we found out. And it's the only way Nico can improve his English. So it's a bit of a fun fact. Somebody recently sent me a message, which I didn't answer to because I'm a horrible monster, offering free English pronunciation lessons. Again, I didn't answer because I'm a horrible person, but my thought was, well, probably to improve the pronunciation, I should like practice seriously, like give it time to do the lessons and then practice. I don't have time. Sadly, that's the reality. I have limited time and energy, and practicing English pronunciation is not my priority. Your English is great. Yeah, sure, people say that, but also then I get comments absolutely roasting me for my pronunciation. So maybe it's not that great. Melody. No, I like the way you say Linux. How else would you say it? Linux. It's Linux. Linux. If you start rapping right now, I will subscribe. See, the thing is, I don't rap. I do write poems that sound like rap. It's been so long since I've been read any. How did I even start? Let me think back. I would love to get back to poetry. Yes, my favorite one was: di capelli neri e belli, lui ne ha 1000 addosso, ma quasi mi strozzo nel scoprirne un rosso. Lui sussurra frasi di scusa scosse invano, mi stringe stretta in pezzi sparsi nel polso in mano e mi usa per segarsi piano. Lo stronzo mi slaccia a ritmo d'un brano, ciò che indosso lancia sul divano. Lui mi lancia e io mi scosto, e questo mi fa già strano. Giuro, non so io come posso, lui con che faccia. And it just goes on. Good old times when I was writing this stuff. Your construction and grammar is good, thank you. Your pronunciation just needs work. Fair enough. Maybe in the future I will have time to actually, have proper pronunciation classes and such. Is there a way to record only a single virtual desktop? No. Sorry. I thought about it, and I think that's the answer. Do you remember the DT rap? Of course I do. Of course I do. Good old times. It's something to seriously consider investing in, especially if you want to grow your Talking Head YouTube channel. Fair enough. Yeah, it's really a matter of priorities, sadly. One thing I would like to do in the future is to hire somebody else to be a talking head with me. I wouldn't disappear, but I wouldn't want to be the only face necessarily for this channel. If I get sick, the first week of April, so last week, that was, I got sick, got flu, no videos. No videos means no subscribers, no revenue. That's an issue. So I did have lookout writing scripts, thankfully. So now I have some scripts to read, but no videos. That's a problem. Yeah, I should somehow try to be insured on that. Give me a script and I'm happy to be paid to do it. When sadly right now it's not economically feasible. I thought about it. I think the money doesn't work out yet. You can go, by the way, on thelibre.news and check out the revenue and expenditures. I made that public, and you can very quickly see that I'm not in a great spot right now. But as soon as I'm in a better situation, I'll probably do an open call type of stuff so that everybody gets a chance. It's in my plans for the future. But also, the Libre.news needs to make enough money to survive right now. So, or at least not lose so much money that if it keeps going, then I'll have to shut it down. Do you have any solution for WhatsApp in Linux with calls and video calls like Mac and Windows apps? I do not. Honestly, I just use my phone for those. I don't know anything about desktop Linux calls. Do you ever think KDE is gonna ever surpass GNOME in terms of popularity? How do you even measure that? That's the issue. It's tremendously difficult to know which desktop is more popular. Which indicator should you like rely on? Right now, I feel like somewhat certain that GNOME is being more used than KDE, but also I don't have any data to back it up. I wouldn't know. What is the one feature you like to see in KDE Plasma? Again, I'm gonna say the new theming system. It's dumb. You would like to see, I guess, is the question. The new theming system is the one thing I'm looking forward to. Do you have a favorite KDE app? Probably KDE Live. KDE Live is like really good. I think it's nice we have such a professional application in our application suite. Dynamic workspaces without a Kwin script. If somebody implements it, sure, could be something. If you had $100 million, what would you do with it? So let's try to answer you seriously. So first of all, 1% of that is going to a 4% remunerated savings account, which is gonna be enough to set me up for life. Probably I could do like 2% of that and just retire. But that's not the point, is it? What I would like to do is like I have some ideas that I'm sort of working on, which I would like to in the future be business ideas. Libre News is something that you can very directly see that I'm trying to make right now a business idea, something economically feasible. And of course that if I had more money, I would hire more people and more talking heads, more people working on technical infrastructure, more people being able to review the scripts. Like it's, you know how this kind of things work. And right now it's just me and Luca. So that is the direction I would like to go to. But I do also have other personal like ideas that I'm sort of working on in the background, very much in the background. One thing that I would like to do is, and that I'm working on very slowly, extremely slowly, is an Libre open source camera to take like pictures and videos. And right now it's just, you know, me trying to work out some technical details. I would like in the future to like be able to work with other people on the project. But you know, I can only try to do what I can. Did I lose connection again? What was your favorite singer in Sanremo 25? I completely forgot the Sanremo 2025 cantanti. Completely forgot the list actually. Achille Lauro, Gaia, blah blah blah. Willy Peyote. Yeah, easy one. Yeah, right. Willy Peyote was in the list. Willy Peyote is the Disney winner here. Have you considered sponsorships and such? Okay, good question. Yes, of course I've considered them. Issue is, firstly, I didn't get any offer. If I want sponsorships right now, I have to go ahead and ask for them, which is annoying. Because that's effort already. And even if that works out, well, that creates a lot of other problems, as in I actually have to do the sponsorships properly, and like sponsors usually want to review the video because they pay for it, and that actually slows down the production, and I already have a very fragile production system where if something gets slowed down, that's already pretty bad. So yeah, maybe it's something that should be done in the future, but right now probably I'm not big to handle, and not big enough to handle this probably right now. Did you see Luis Rossmann video on the DJI camera today? Needs an account to use. Yeah, cameras are very locked down, sadly. Especially because, sure, you can talk about software, but let's talk about ports. Each camera brand has its own set of lenses that is not compatible with any other set of lenses. If I do a camera, I have a vision in mind to make sure that it's not only compatible with any set of lenses, regardless of the maker, but I also think I can deliver on great autofocus performances on manual lenses, manual cinema lenses, manual today I'm just sleepy, anamorphic lenses, manual vintage lenses. You can actually go ahead and add autofocus to them, to all of them. That would be great. And I think it would be commercially very interesting. I think people would be interested in that because there's currently solutions to try to mimic autofocus on such lenses, and they cost like a new camera. Like the DJI Focus Pro is $1.5 grand. That's an entire camera. I think you did some work with touchpad gestures. Is it on the roadmap to build a feature to change default gestures? It's not on the roadmap. It's something that we would like to have one day, but somebody needs to do the work, and we're all just so busy. So yeah, it's something we would like to have. But until somebody actually goes ahead and starts working on it, we're not getting it. So you can sponsor segments of the video. Yes, that is what I was referencing to. Even if you sponsor just a segment, you have to do it properly, and you have to make the sponsor, very often the sponsor wants to review the video before publishing it, or at least the script or such. So Canon as focus confirmation on vintage lenses, I'm aware of that. I am aware of that. But hear me out, autofocus, even better than focus confirmation. But sure, on productions, on like professional productions, you're going to have a dedicated focus puller. But most people don't have a focus puller. Actually, you can adapt many lenses to Sony E-mount, and you can adapt even more lenses to Nikon Z-mount, including the E-mount lenses. Yes, but when it comes to mirrorless cameras, well, firstly, you can adapt large FLIR, like a DSLR lenses are gonna be adaptable to any mirrorless camera. You don't necessarily get autofocus on all of them, but you can get it. But when it comes to mirrorless lenses, the FLIR distance is so small and so similar between them that it becomes impossible to adapt them. I'll make you a practical example. Currently, the set of lenses that I would like to buy, if I had infinite money, is the Argus, I think it's called, T1 Cine lenses, $4 or $3.5, very pricey. But they only deliver in Nikon Z, Sony E, and something else mounts. I have a Lumix. It's an L mount. I don't get those lenses, and I also don't have any way to adapt them because the FLIR distance is the same. It's not FLIR, it's flange distance, sorry. When did you start working for KDE? I don't work for KDE, I work for Tech Paladin, but I'm paid to work on KDE software. And it's been a couple of years almost a couple of years already. Why is it so difficult to remember the location of open windows and door sizes? And when the application was opened, did they open in the same place where they were before closing? I know nothing of this. This is the kind of stuff that I purposely try to stay away from because it seems very complex and I sort of don't want to deal with it. I have no clue. Qt or GTK for performance or aesthetics? I think there's no significant difference in either. You can use Qt or GTK and get similar performances and similar aesthetics. They're toolkits. You don't use them for performances, you don't use them for aesthetics, you use them depending on what you need out of your toolkits. They're very different toolkits. They provide very different things. But maybe you could argue performances. I don't think really matters. I think you might be able to adapt the Lumix L-mount lenses to a Z-mount camera. No, I don't think you can. I mean, let's just Google it. L-mount to Z-mount adapter. Products. No, you cannot. No. Nikon Z, if I recall correctly, is like the shortest flare distance, flange distance. Lumix is slightly more, but we're still talking millimeters. I think it's physically impossible to build. I'm interested in Libra News. Is there already a public Git repo for that? It's not a code project, it's a website. Actually, let me put the link here, libre.news. If you go to that website, you'll see the news website. That's as easy as that. It's really weird that I'm getting comments in like chunks instead of when people actually write them, but sure. By the way, it's been 2 hours. I think I'll probably go soon. Did I get any like messages while I was streaming? Oh, I did. Okay, nothing important. Have you ever thought about doing visual design with technical limitations such as for e-ink screens or low-res displays? I did attempt to bring plasma to the Note, Pine Note. I did do something. I did do a black and white plasma theme. I was trying to, I took off animations, was like testing various ways to deal with the refreshing stuff on e-inks. Didn't really go far. Truly is a patch for KDE apps. Do I need to do anything else besides submitting a merge request in GitLab? Do you have anything like Jira? No, just go ahead and make the merge request. That's all. We don't have any kind of project management tools. Have you tried Aurora, Bluefin, Bazite, and what were your thoughts on them? I have not tried any of them. I think they're like for gaming. I just use this theme deck. I don't know. I've never used them. I'm not opposed to their idea. Just don't know much of them. I received my first AI pull request today. It failed to compile. Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't get AI and use it completely wrong. That's extremely annoying. Extremely annoying. Greetings. Hello. Ciao. Yeah, Plasma Ink. I think I'm gonna go. My voice is starting to fade away. And I'm also really tired. But yeah, sometimes I could do this. What do you think? What are your thoughts on people wanting SteamOS to be released for desktops? Makes complete sense. I hope SteamOS gets released for desktops. Get a stronger voice. Come on, it's been 2 hours. 2 hours. I think I can... Talking for 2 hours, I think is a fair amount of time. What distro are you using now? Arch. I'm using Arch. Also to do development. Actually, right now I am on, what is this even? Info Center. Ubuntu Studio. I don't know why it's Ubuntu Studio. It shouldn't be Ubuntu Studio. It should be Ubuntu, I think, but somehow it became by itself Ubuntu Studio. I don't know what happened to this system. But yeah, on my laptop where I do actual work, this one I just use to do streaming and recording. I spoke at a KDE booth for 12 hours. I mean, I could go on, but also drink work. You're also such nice people giving me suggestions. I'm from Italy. Yeah, I'll just give it like 1 minute in case something interesting pops up, and then I'm gonna go. Yeah. Okay. I'm so tired. Something interesting. Oh yeah, something interesting came up. The Linux and free and open source community knows no borders. If people start getting suspicious of or avoid rejecting software and contribution based off country of origin, then that's no good. Sure, this comment makes sense. I don't see how it's related to the video in any way, but sure. It's correct. Okay. How many languages do you speak? Italian and English. That's it. English, not even well. I'm gonna go. Thanks everybody for following, and sorry for no video today. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm kinda busy tomorrow.